All right. When a sports team is doing bad, how hard is it to get fans to come to the games?
I think the record and the streak of a team certainly draws crowds into a stadium. My experience with that is when the Phillies were doing well 6-7 years ago, I spoke to the marketing manager of the Phillies, and one of the questions was, how difficult is it to market the Phillies? She said, we're on a winning streak and we don't have to really do much, that every single game is sold out, and there's a waiting list for tickets. Go ahead 6 years later to the present day where the Phillies aren't doing so well. They're doing everything under the sun to try to get people into that stadium. Different promotions and different sponsors for the evenings in order to draw the crowds in, and they right now are not selling out the games.
Right.
So a winning record, I believe, is very important, and have key players.
How do sports teams affect local businesses, or / like how would hosting the World Cup?
I guess the economics of having the World Cup or a large event in a host city has huge economic impact for the local economy that it serves. When you're hosting a World Cup, you need a stadium, you need the infrastructure, you need the hospitality industry. You're going to be drawing in large amounts of people, and obviously every dollar that's spent in the local economy helps boost that economy. So sporting events, entertainment events, anything that draws a large crowd, I think helps the local economy.
All right. What are the pros and cons of building a sports complex over something like a museum or a community complex?
I think there has to be different outlets for different interests that people have. So I wouldn't say a stadium over a museum because there are two different draws for two different types of people. However, I do think the economic advantages of a large stadium is that it draws in a larger crowd, and therefore could benefit the local economy greater just because of the sheer volumes of people that are coming in. Not only is it ticket sales, but it's hosting an event like the World Cup. You would have hotel reservations, you would have restaurant reservations, the transportation industry, getting to people to and from. So in that terms, the advantage of perhaps the draw of the amount of people for a sporting event as opposed to a smaller scale museum might boost the economy, the local economy greater.
Do you think it'd be better for a more developed country to host the World Cup, or for a developing country to host the World Cup, and why?
I was told when the last World Cup was, I believe, in Brazil, that they did not make money on that event, that building the infrastructure, building the stadiums, building everything that goes into hosting the World Cup was extremely expensive for Brazil. Whereas a developed nation might have some of that infrastructure already in place. I'm just thinking of the most profitable Olympic game was 2002 when Salt Lake City hosted the Olympics. They profited, it was about a $4.5 billion profit on that, hosting that Olympic Games, and also the government profited roughly $500 million in additional tax revenue. So therefore, I guess, because some of the infrastructure is already in place, that maybe a developed nation would be more profitable than an underdeveloped nation.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.